So I've been watching these people. At least they're trying to convince themselves that Errol Spence is just going to stay on the outside and he's going to use his jab, control distance and things of that nature. So we want to kind of do a film study, and you never know till, what happens to the night of the fight. But we're just going to show you some tendencies and some patterns, so let's get into it. All right, here we go. Now, people, they're going to say you're digging a little too far back. Spence is 18. This guy's 28. You know what I'm saying? For those people that come across at that point, I'm going to show you in the future how these tendencies are still present and prevalent in Errol Spence's career. And you've never seen Errol Spence fight a guy that can move like this ever since. You know what I'm saying? They not only kept him away from guys who can actually punch, but they kept him away from guys who are very versatile, can move very well. After this, we're going to show you, even in the first round of the Porter versus Spence, maybe we'll show the first couple rounds of that, how Porter's movement was able to basically take away Spence's jab. He needs to set his feet to be effective jabber. This is why you see it in fights. You just saw that combination punch in there really fuck Spence up. But he needs to set his feet, and he needs a stationary target for his jab to be effective. You understand? This guy right now, the feints, the pendulum steps, the irky-jerky movement, going back and forth. Spence, he can't time this. He can't formulate it. You know what I'm saying? He's having issues. Another thing that gets Spence, and you're going to see in the Porter fight as well, he's susceptible to feints. Manny Pacquiao is wonderful at feints, and the right hook, you understand, is going to be Manny Pacquiao's money punch. Larty, who was a very small guy, southpaw, landed a fucking southpaw right hook on Spence and actually hurt him. As you can see, combination punching, Spence cannot deal with that shit. I'm sorry. That's what gave Porter his most success. You understand? Dude's just keeping that jab up. Spence don't like to get hit. He's very apprehensive. He even senses getting hit. Again, you'll see this even in the Sean Porter fight when we fast forward. Again, for you guys who say, oh, he's 18, he's gotten better. Yes, that's true. He's gotten better, guys. The same tendencies, same patterns are there. Again, feint, can't do shit, can't fucking formulate the back and forth pendulum stepping, combination punching, just shells up. Still present in Spence's game today. Combination punching, can't do nothing. Again, his jab, overrated as fuck. It's more of a ranging it's more of a probing rangefinder than it is a surgical tool. Again, combination punching. Dude's just picking Spence off, turning him around, toying him, outboxing the shit out of him, and it all has to do with footwork. And Spence is lucky this guy doesn't have power. You know what I'm saying? Manny Pacquiao does, though. Spence does this a lot, even with Porter. When he can't control the outside distance, the range, it becomes a sloppy fight. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a front foot lead fighter, and a lot of his weight always ends up on his front foot. When he fights, he can either continue to go forwards, which you'll see him do, and grab and hold. You understand? Or he'll just go backwards, because if he tries to use lateral movement when the weight is mostly on your lead foot, there's a good chance that you lose your balance and trip over. As you guys can see, easy round for that dude. Again, they'll never put Spence in with a versatile fighter like this. He has issues, especially a guy like Terrence Crawford, who really, his true power hand's his right hand. And has a very good jab as well. Bradman just came out with a piece where he credits Crawford's jab. His right hand in general is just fucking devastating as fuck. Again, we saw what he did to Brook. I don't give a fuck if you guys want to sit here and say that Kell Brook was shot and all this shit, bro. You've never seen Errol Spence land a punch like that, or anybody that had that sort of effect. You know what I'm saying? Let alone Kell Brook. So far, like I said, easy round. We're just going over some film here, try to make a case on this channel. We always back our shit up with receipts, even if we gotta talk you through it and walk you through this shit. The dude's just keeping the jab, you know what I'm saying? Spence's jab, as you can see, again, is not a surgical tool whatsoever, especially against a moving target. He's trying to be more aggressive because he knows he lost that first round. But here, this dude's keeping his poise, keeping his shit, getting his rhythm back, keeping Spence off balance, guessing what he got to do. No, this is why also I don't think they even wanted to put him in with the Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman isn't the best educated mover, but he's a lot better, has better footwork than anybody Spence has ever fought. And again, you'll see when we fast forward into the future how even Sean Porter's movement gave Spence problems, you know. I think PBC is desperate in making this Manny Pacquiao fight again, just like a Tyson Fury Wilder. I think they're considering a layoff. They think it's the right time to make this fight, but I think it might bite them in the ass, just like Keith Thurman. Again, Spence's jab, his shit's so sloppy. Again, he's not an accurate puncher at all. He's a repetitious, like, muscle memory puncher. He doesn't have great punch placement. This guy's putting his combinations together, pendulum step, back and forth, jerky feints, and it's just too much for Spence. This dude's easily toying and just destroying this guy.
It's a better round for the American.
And it's just because he's versatile. You know, Spence, there you go, and you're making a little dirty fight again. Has no real counter-punching ability. Has no real combinations, you understand. He really has basic combinations, so he'll throw the jab 3 times in a row and throw straight. You know, it's very same repetitious shit. When he gets guys hurt, he does tend to go off cadence, and that confuses guys, you know, jab, straight, but then he'll throw it straight to the body on the 4th punch. And you know what I'm saying? It's basic ABC 1, 2, 3 shit like that. But that, as you can see, they've kept him even away from guys that have these type of movements. Now, I'll listen to his fans, and they'll tell you that Al Jury was a pure boxer. Get the fuck out of here, guys. Stop. He can't deal with this type of shit at all. Combination punching with the combination of the movement, you know what I'm saying, the counter punching ability, the hand speed, you know, look, step back, shells up, still open. We're going to show you that aspect of it as well. And in this case, Manny Pacquiao, as we saw against Keith Thurman, Spence wants to continue to do his go-to defensive maneuver, the step back. That's inviting Manny to fucking close the gap, which he's more than capable of doing, especially early on in the fight. The true fight flow of how I see the Manny Pacquiao fight panning out is I think Manny's definitely going to secure the early rounds. Since he's older now, he is going to need to recover in the middle rounds. And that's where you'll see Spence start to close the gap again. But I think the championship rounds, Manny will get the better of Spence. You know what I'm saying? Unless he truly does become older overnight. You know, you guys are over here saying how he's too old for Manny. He's coming off a 2-year layoff. But now you guys are in celebration and jubilee over this Spence-Manny fight. So, but I keep hearing these dudes saying that Spence is just going to keep him, you know, control the distance and throw that jab, bro. You can do that against a stationary target. Against movement, you don't have a jab, bro. Even Porter has shown you this. Again, this dude's just toying the shit out of fucking Spence. It's not even fucking close. And again, Spence is lucky this guy does not have power. I know this guy gives Spence a bloody nose, and I know that I think he put a cut on Spence too. Again, if this dude had power, you would see Spence just really get beat the fuck up and not have no fucking answer. There's a reason they kept you away from versatile fighters like this. And there's a reason why they kept you away from fucking power punchers. Lucky for him, Porter ain't no accurate puncher. He wastes a lot of punches. He doesn't have great punch placement. But Manny Pacquiao, again, you're going to have to deal with all that at once. Luckily, they're easing you in with a 42-year-old. But still, I think they're still complacent in this situation. Spence doing his body work, you know. But it's middle of the ring. He's more effective when he has guys on the ropes, when he can go to the body. So sloppy-ass shit like this, he does this with Porter throughout the fight because he can't really do nothing. He's not able to control the distance. Again, he ends up with his weight on his lead foot, so all he can do is move forward, try and grab and hold. Does this a lot. But the movement, just the jerkus, even the feints, because Spence is a very apprehensive guy, doesn't like to get hit. Shells up when you throw combinations. And you'll see in the Porter fight, Porter's using the feint, and he's so apprehensive, like he's just ready to shell up all the time. This dude's just trying to clown him around. He knows he has this in the bag. He's basically just letting the clock run. doing some shenanigans and shit. But Spence look at the lead right hook. Again, the right hook is going to be a fucking money in the back punch for Manny Pacquiao against Errol Spence. Again, the uppercut as well. If you do your research on Spence and uppercuts, you'll know that he's very susceptible to those, as he was even in this fight as well. I just not been calling him out. This dude clearly clowning around. He knows he has the shit in the bag. Just fucking clowning, toying Errol Spence. Errol Spence getting a little frustrated, you know. He's outside of his fucking element. There's nothing he can really do against a guy like this. Again, this ain't no Sean Porter, a left hook, right hook fighter, you know, who smothers his own work. You know what I'm saying? Spence's outside game, like I told you guys, it's overrated as fuck. They've done a good job with his matchmaking and shit. But even Kell Brook, you know, was able to slip that jab just like this dude and then counter with his own jab. They even made a montage during the fight, if you go and watch that shit. Spence trying to fucking go for broke. Like I said, a lot of it's just frustration. This dude ain't even worried about it. You know, he knows he already has this shit in the bag. Spence looks just like Derrick James. Their styles are so similar. He's definitely mastered Derrick James' style. But if you do research on Derrick James, you'll see just how much of a mediocre fucking fighter he was. You know what I'm saying? Boxing started to become like Hollywood. You just fell up, you know? You know, if you stick to a plan and you stick with it, yeah, you can get some success. You know, even a fucking lame-ass Derrick James. Spence trying to hit behind the head now and shit, you know. Just frustration seeped in. There's nothing you can do. You can't cut off the ring, you don't, you know. And again, people are going to be like, well, he was the same tendencies are there. We're going to show you guys. We'll transition right into the first couple rounds of Errol Spence versus fucking Sean Porter. And we'll show you some clips just how he cannot handle combination punching. And we're talking about a guy who has no accuracy, such as Porter. Again, this irky-jerky pendulum steps. Errol Spence can't deal with that shit, bro.
5 seconds down.
Sean Porter was even effectively to use that shit, you know. And Sean Porter ain't known for his boxing IQ or nothing.
Errol Spence.
And you ain't never seen Spence fight another versatile fighter with foot movement like this ever again. They put him up against guys that they know he's supposed to beat. That's it, you know. Easy fucking win for this guy. We're now going to transition into the Sean Porter fight. Alright, so here we are. Sean Porter's coming out with the movement. As you can see, Errol Spence's jab's not very accurate. Again, more ranging, profiling jab. Moving target, it's a lot harder to judge where you need to throw that jab. Porter, hand speed, again, has the potential of giving problems. Again, he's just punching at Porter with that jab. Again, it's not a surgical pinpoint accurate tool, especially against a moving target. Again, just throwing it out there. He's a little confused by the movement. Again, he's responding to the feints. Always wants to fucking go in peekaboo shell. Very apprehensive guy. Does not want to get hit. Doesn't like to get hit. Sean Porter, again, he's just not very accurate with his punches. Punch placement's not that great. This same style, he used this against Ugas. Of course, it wasn't as effective against Ugas. When we get towards the third round, he abandons his style, this footwork and shit, the feints and everything else, and just makes it a toe-to-toe trench warfare battle. But again, it's another avenue to beat Spence because he doesn't like combination punching. See, he can't control the distance, whatever. Jab's not working right now, so he knows he's got to hold. Here we are holding sloppy-ass shit. Can't establish distance. You know, you tried to establish your jab, you just weren't able to against Sean Porter. Again, it has everything to do with the movement. Again, jabbing shit. Pawing-ass jab. Sean Porter turning you. Sean Porter was an effective puncher like Manny Pacquiao in that sequence. He would have put more on those body shots, would have caught Spence with more, but we'll get more into that as the fight goes on. You'll see him take advantage of that more. This is a filling out round, of course. He's still trying to establish the jab once again. No bueno. It's just a shit, piss poor jab. Like I said, it's muscle memory more so than it is pinpoint accurate surgical tool that people try to make it out to be. Again, jab is just pathetic.
30 seconds remaining in round 1. Scheduled for 12.
He had a little good sequence there, but you know, it is what it is. Again, Manny's not going to find himself in those types of positions against Errol Spence. His footwork, counter-punching, building hand speed and combination, and being an effective puncher, those opportunities aren't going to be as prevalent against Manny Pacquiao, even at 42, as they are here against Sean Porter, a guy, left hook, right hook fighter who smothers his own work, you know what I'm saying? Sean Porter is actually fighting outside of his element right now with this type of style. Now here we are in round 2. Errol Spence still trying to establish the jab. Again, Sean Porter could have countered that if he was more accurate with his shots, better with his punch placement. Manny Pacquiao will be able to land those types of punches that he just missed. Three-piece Errol Spence, you know what I'm saying? Again, Manny Pacquiao's 1-2, 1-2-3 is going to be far more effective. They're going to do more damage. But Manny Pacquiao is old as a good counter by Spence. His most prevalent counter ability or counter punch is the step back left. You understand? He even drops Porter with that same punch, sort of. But he was able to drop Algieri with that punch. It's really his only go-to counter punch. Other than that, he doesn't have real counter punching. Sean Porter, of course, you know, so slowly easing out of that style that he's even worked on as far back as the Ugas fight, you know. Trying to come forward and go back, you know, the real Sean Porter coming out, which is just close the distance, lunge, and throw all these punches and waste a bunch of punches. You're starting to slowly see him transition out of that, you know, this boxing style that he's trying to use. Again, we told you about Errol Spence's balance. You see the issue right there. You can only go forward or backwards. You try any lateral movement in that type of sequence, you're going to lose your balance and damn near slip and fall. Again, Manny Pacquiao, he'll be able to close these gaps on Spence more, whose only go-to defensive maneuver for the majority of the time is a step back. And like I said, Manny closes those gaps quick. Keith Thurman found that out very early on in the fight, and I think Spence is going to have a different approach because that step back's going to get his ass caught with some shit. 1-2 from Porter. Spence still trying to establish the jab. It's just not effective. You can't deal with it. Pendulum steps, again, moving target. Your jab just ain't going to be effective. Sorry. This ain't Danny Garcia. This ain't Mickey Garcia. Two guys who try to time you with one punch. Sean Porter's throwing combinations. Again, the footwork, foot movement, pendulum steps, feint. Able to fucking get out of the corner. Combination punching, Spence can only hold. Jab again, almost got there. But again, Sean Porter able to parry it and then turn Spence. Now he's got Spence in the corner. Manny Pacquiao is going to be turning Spence. Manny Pacquiao is going to be turning Spence all night. Again, very close round. Again, Sean Porter doesn't have real power. He doesn't have half the talent that Manny Pacquiao has, you know. Doesn't have the ability, the gifts, you know, the power, the pop, the hand speed, punch placement, boxing IQ. But even this guy is able to punish you, or I'm sorry, frustrate you, and you gotta fucking aim for this guy's balls. You know, in round 3, it gets really bad with the ball punching. Manny has that punch. He's knocked Juan Manuel Marquez down with that same punch. You know, again, his shit has more pop, has more power, has better placement. It's going to be a tough fight, especially early on for Spence. Manny's definitely going to get the early rounds. Again, I think the fight flow of the fight, he's going to have to recover middle rounds, and then he's going to have to push it in the championship rounds. But again, I think he'll be hitting Spence with the more harder, effective shots. They're going to try to bail Spence out with volume. Porter landing some nice little fucking right hand over there that they probably didn't count on the punch stats. Errol Spence is inaccurate ass punching again, jab, jab, straight, you know, whatever. Now he's over here just mauling Porter's balls. Frustration setting in, you know. Can't establish the jab, can't fight from the outside. This dude's swarming you. You can only step back, try to recover and counter, you know. Again, you don't like to get punched at. Apprehensive. Your jab ain't doing shit either. But Porter, he's starting to get out of this game plan. It's a game plan he's not capable of keeping up the entire fight. Doesn't have the discipline for it. Fighters are going to revert back to their go-tos. And Sean Porter, at the end of the day, just comes forward and, like I said, smothers his own work. Errol Spence intentionally targeting his balls, as you guys can see. Sloppy-ass fight, looking all Bojangly and shit. Got caught, trying to be cool, got caught again. Again, when this guy tries to be defensively responsible, use his skills, you know, he's still there to be hit. He's still open. And a guy who's a far more effective puncher like Manny Pacquiao is definitely going to have more success. Errol Spence said that, you know, he's trying to beat him at his own game. Dude, you had no fucking choice, bro. You're over here hitting him in the balls and shit. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
The ref is not really calling these low shots. He's hitting them low.
Oh, you're talking about Spence?
Yeah, Spence is hitting them low. He's got
A few of them were right on the
Spence again, frustration, being dirty. Jack Reese, though, you know, your job, you know what he's there for. He's going to let Spence, you know, he's there to ensure Spence wins. Spence now knowing his jab ain't shit, his only game plan is to hopefully, at one point, hope that his step back counter left eventually lands. The jab at this point has been abandoned. Look, getting ready to do a step back, getting ready to hold, make it a dirty ass fight. Outside game is overrated, like I said.
part of the reason, like Joe said, you know, he's holding his head down. When you're holding the tall guy's head down and he's throwing body punches, some of them will go low. Right. And then when you look,
No, looking all stupid and shit, dumbass. Man, he's gonna fucking get that shit. You don't have real defense. You don't have real fucking back foot game. You're not slick like you think you are.
But landed a beautiful right hand over the top on Spence. There's a lot of give and take here right now.
Sloppy ass shit again. Manny will be constantly moving far better. The game plan that Porter started off with, Manny will be able to keep that game plan longer. And if Spence wants to play the game in chain and exchange, Manny's definitely going to fucking beat him at that game. You know, Spence's only hope is that Manny eventually tires and wears down and becomes his age. But again, Manny's going to have the early success in this fight. And if he lands significant enough punches that do damage Spence, it won't matter that he's 42 years old. He can actually take rounds off and do exactly what he did with Thurman. Start throwing and being effective at the right time and stealing the round from Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? Let Errol Spence punch himself out with volume just like Keith Thurman did. Make it look like he's doing shit, then catch him with some real damaging shit. Some real effective damaging blows. All right, we're in round 4. Sean Porter beats Errol Spence the fuck up in this round. You know what I'm saying? And again, this is an inaccurate puncher. Fucking guy doesn't have great punch placement. You see him throwing that wild ass shit, wasting all these punches. Manny Pacquiao, that's not going to be the case. He's going to be far more accurate. You know what I'm saying? Far more deadlier when his punches land. Manny Pacquiao's experience and just he's fought far better fighters like Cotto. We've seen Margarito. Margarito's beaten better fighters than what Errol Spence has beat. However you guys want to cut it. Even Timothy Bradley, a lot of these PBC fighters fought his leftovers. Bradley was a guy that was you know, taking these guys O's and shit like Lamont Peterson, just give you an example. You know what I'm saying? Even he's got a better resume than these dudes, and he's far more battle-tested. You know what I'm saying? These Sean Porters and Spences, dude, I don't... I'm telling you, premier simulation boxing champions. They're in mostly showcase fights. They're not in real fights. Spence finally lands a fucking jab. Good job. Over here getting beat up. Now, they're not counting a lot of these punches that Sean Porter is landing. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Uppercuts going to play a factor. Spence is definitely susceptible to the uppercuts. Again, the footwork, everything. He can't handle combination punching, guys. Even when he tries to be defensively responsible, he's still fucking open. And you can catch him with hard shots. Looking all sloppy and shit, trying to act like he has back foot, like Floyd Mayweather. Foot movement and shit, trying to avoid punches, still getting caught. Manny's more than capable of putting out multiple rounds, such as this round 4 as Porter did. Again, just wide open, even when he tries to be defensively responsible. Leaves openings, guys. He's going to get fucked up. Like I said, they're going to try to bank on Manny Pacquiao slowing down, just like he did in the Thurman fight. Now, again, Manny Pacquiao hits way harder. That punch hurt you. You're still open to the body shot afterwards. Again, Manny Pacquiao's going to put his punches together better, land harder blows, be more effective in those types of sequences. Look at you, trying to be defensive, fucking turning into a fucking right hook. Again, Manny's going to be far more effective in this shit. Uppercut again. Punch, Errol Spence is definitely susceptible too. So there you have it. We're just mapping out these tendencies, these patterns that your pound for pound top 5 fighter, Errol Spence, that you guys claim he has. You know, such beautiful, elegant defensive maneuvering. You know, I'll give you the Danny Garcia fight. Again, that's a guy who really tries to land one punch at a fucking time. You know, flat-footed, has no real athleticism. Really got by on matchmaking himself. Danny Garcia, again, punch stats claim that Spence landed 345 punches. Like, dude, you didn't have this dude concussed for nothing. You know what I'm saying? You see what Manny Pacquiao did to Keith Thurman's face. That's landing real punches on people. There's Errol Spence, again. You need that type of theatricality to your shit, because we're going to sit here, of course, fans going to question, why the fuck can't you knock that midget out? You know, so they got to up your shit, hype it up. And that's what they're going to try to do with Manny, too. Again, there's going to be parameters set in, you know, to ensure that Errol Spence gets that victory. But I'm telling you right now, if Manny Pacquiao does not just become old overnight, like, dude, this is going to be a tough fight for him. It's not what you guys think. PBC's already, you know, dealt with this before when they tried to have Keith Thurman fight this dude. You know, again, I would not be shocked or surprised if Errol Spence ends up as a, you know, family pet, new addition to the Manny Pacquiao family over there in the Philippines. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna do a racial reference, but I'm not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? You'll be a fine addition to the Manny Pacquiao family. You know, but again, same tendencies, even decade after the fact. You know, when you're an amateur, still can't deal with the irky jerkness shit, the hypervigilance, and Manny's a hypervigilant motherfucker too, just like Sean Porter. But again, just way more refined, way better, way more God-gifted, even as a 42-year-old. And I know, trust me, Manny wouldn't be taking this fight if it was drug testing. Al Heyman's going to kind of halfway set you up like that, like he did Thurman and Broner. You know, you're going to be doing some drug testing if there is, but Manny Pacquiao, you know, Broner was complaining like, they ain't even testing us. Like, dude, hey, you know, and Brandon Rios is too. There's been some fighters that complain about that shit. How they know they're getting tested, but Manny Pacquiao aren't really being tested. And Manny Pacquiao, for all we know, that fool could be cycling right now. I'm sorry. Manny fans, but we do keep it a buck on this channel. We know your dude's on that juice. There's no need to even come here and try to fucking cap. Again, I done seen you when you were fucking dead tired against Bradley. People thought it was a robbery, whatever. How are you fucking score that fight, motherfucker? You threw like well below your highest output. You know, you were consistently throwing over 1,000 punches fight after fight. The Clotty fight, you know, Margarito fight, and then you come and fight fucking Bradley. You're over here looking like you're dying in the corner and shit from exhaustion. So again, too many inconsistent performances. You know, that could have been a deciding factor too as far as the Terrence Crawford. We know that Manny sees Errol Spence as the easier fight. I mean, if you know your boxing, you just know that already. Now, of course, you never know what's going to happen when guys get in the ring, of course. But just from a stylistic matchup, like Freddie Roach, his team's already admitted this before in the past. He's basically Floyd Mayweather, you know, with power, is how Roach explained it. You know what I'm saying? Crawford just has way more tools, you know, to play with, you know, master craftsman in that ring. Spence, again, he's a straight up and down dude. His shit does not branch out too much, you know. It's very simple, and it is effective, you know, with the right opponent. But again, Sean Porter even was exposed your deficiencies. You know, I've seen it in other fights too, even Ocampo, when he just put his punches together. You know, he was able to catch Errol Spence, even with Errol Spence and peekaboo shelled up, you know what I'm saying? And in that fight as well, Errol Spence had to resort to low blows, you know what I'm saying? He's done it in a lot of his fights. It's another trend that he does. It's another pattern. The low blow is part of his game plan. You know, that's just the frustration move when he knows he can't do shit from the outside. Again, even watch the Ocampo fight. You know, I put these clips on my channel before. You know, if you do your research, you actually know what you're looking at. You can see this shit. But again, you know, Errol Spence is a safe bet to put your money on. But I'm telling you, I think these people, Thurman was the favorite, you know, heading into the fight, you know, far before the fight was going to occur. When it got close to the fight, Manny actually ended up being the betting favorite right before the fight. So people, they start changing their aspects, you know, when they saw Keith Thurman over here just running his mouth and shit, not even really training hard. You know, more people start putting their money down on Manny. We'll see how it goes, you know, for those of you who like to bet. I'm not saying bet the house on this shit, but, you know, if Manny's the underdog, it would be good to put like $50 down or something. You know, nothing crazy. Don't put yourself in the hole and get your family moved out of your house. But again, you guys, you got your opinions. We'll see what happens. Go ahead, drop a comment. We'll come out with more videos later.